international award-winning CFCI Bible College.
I received the Lord when I was 7, and right now I'm 62. So I've been working with the Lord for 55 years. My pastoral work started in 1979, and then in 1991, then I think it got very serious when Agape was born. I attended several schools and several institutions, but I think up to this day, I really appreciate greatly what CFCI did for me. So I came to know CFCI through my wife. She heard about it from somewhere, and so she told me there is this institution. It's a South African based, but they have branches, and so I want to study with them. Okay. So I said, okay, let me escort you. So I escorted her, and when I got there, what I saw, I thought, okay, maybe I can try them. Because at that time, I was pursuing my degree in theology. Okay. So I had about a year or so to go. So I thought, okay, I can do a parallel. Because the difference was, at the other institution I was doing theology, CFCI was offering ministry. Yes. So I thought this is very important, because in ministry studies, you get to learn how to start a church, how to pioneer a church, how to choose leaders, how to set up management for the church. A lot of stuff that goes with church, you do in ministry. So I thought it would be very important to help me to balance, you know. So that's how I also ended up enrolling. Yes, that was, I think, 2018. I started with them, I did 3 years, and I got my degree. Yes. I got my degree in ministry with the CFCI, yes. And my studies were very comfortable because of the way CFCI is set. Yes, sir. Okay, you meet in class like 1 day per week. If you are at the degree level, do 1 day per week. And then the rest of the days you study on your own. Which is very important than having too many days in class. Okay, because too many days in class gives you an aura of the studies being lecturer based. When you only do 1 day, it helps you because it creates an environment where the studies become student based, because you have to do the bulk of the work. And when you are doing the bulk of the work, you, by default, you learn more, you discover more. Yes, so in that sense, really CFCI helped me a lot. And we were encouraged, you know, at school, such as, we will talk about textbooks, you must ask me about that. So, but we were also taught that, you know, when you are given a textbook, to review, for example, you must read it. Don't jump one chapter to another, one page to another, because you are focusing on doing your assignment. No. You have to read the book. That is the only way you can assimilate the content, you know. But after assimilating that content, every textbook comes with a bibliography. Create time to read some of those books in the bibliography. Because the textbook you are dealing with, the information there, these are the sources where it came from. So if you can pick 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those as well, create time and read them, you will be rich in content. And this, I must tell you, you see in everyone that passed through CFCI. They have content. Yes. And that's where it comes from, okay? And you have people that have gone elsewhere and done some things. You know, you find when they stand, the content is very shallow. Yes, and it comes from this very fact of not reading your review books, your textbooks, not making an extra effort to read some books in your bibliography. So you become very limited in your content. So CFCI really helped me in that sense. So even when I've continued with other institutions. I have carried what I got from there, and it has been helping me a lot at my master's level and now at my doctoral level. That foundation has really built me a lot. The difference with CFCI and other institutions, other institutions will recommend, they will give you a recommendation of which books you must look for. Okay? At CFCI, from your heavily subsidized fees that you pay, it will include the books. Okay, so for every course, you will have a book. And when you are done, all those books you keep. So like for me, I had a very strong interest in the third year, because the third year is management. And you will not believe this, it's pure management. You do your third year at CFCI, you can be given a company and you run it effectively. Yes. This is a Bible college, but the material they give you third year for leadership is material that you can use anywhere, not just the church. Okay? So for example, in your introduction to management, the manual that you get, the textbook you get, the management stuff that is in there is management stuff you find at any other college, any other university dealing with management issues or dealing with leadership issues. So yes, to answer your question, everything that you collect there, you keep. So mine, I have locked them very safely, especially to do with media. That's very tough material. You can't get it anywhere. And I want to reiterate that it's a school that people must consider to attend, because this issue of you coming out with material that you can keep, the whole set for 3 years for every course, this is material that you can use in your future for reference, and even for teaching stuff like discipleship, stuff like you have a school of ministry at your church, you are raising your leaders and the like. You've got stuff that you can use, so for that I appreciate CFCI. Christianity in Zambia has been at the mercy of outside forces. In the past decade, the past 10 years, there's a lot of stuff that has happened in Zambia in terms of Christianity. In Zambia, we didn't know what crossover was. It only came in this country in the past 10 years or so. We didn't know things like declaring a theme at the end of the year. These are things that have come in the past 10 years or so. There's a lot of stuff that has been coming on the religious space in the country. And a lot of it is very wrong. Okay? Not to say that declaring a theme or doing a crossover is wrong, no. Just to give an example, that there's a lot of things that have been coming and are coming. Some are good, some are not good. So in an environment like this, you need knowledge for you to protect yourself as a believer. So a Bible school like this one is very important, not just for pastor, but for any member who wishes to grow and mature in the things of God. For example, one of the subjects that I enjoyed is called the blood covenant. Okay? When you do the blood covenant as a course, you learn the history of Christianity, you will learn the basis of your faith. You are not a Jew, you are a black Zambian. What is it that gives you room to participate in the heritage of God's people? You will learn all this stuff in the blood covenant. If you pass through that course, you will not go to do funny things in order to protect yourself and so forth and so on. Some of the stuff that we are seeing, the blood is more than enough for anything else you can think about in terms of Christianity. Okay, there is a course, I think it was a foundational course called cover something, so undercover. Yes. Okay, undercover. People are struggling with such issues today. You know, in that course you are taught the importance of being under somebody, the importance of being held accountable, the importance of being answerable to somebody, the importance of being undercover to someone. It's a protection in itself. And above all, in that course, you learn, if you are going to offer covering to others, like I have done and I continue to do, you also learn how to do it. If you are going to cover somebody, it's not just about collecting money from them, or they can bring seed, they can bring money, they can bring what, but there is much more to providing cover to somebody, which you don't see in a number of some colleagues that are trying to do this thing, because they have never been taught in the foundations of how covering is done. So I highly recommend CFCI for believers. Above that, I highly recommend it for pastors, and here is the reason. Theology is good, but theology is very good for people like us who are academically influenced, who want to be lecturers, who want to do theology is very good. But if you want to be a pastor and you are going to be an effective pastor, you must go to CFCI and do ministry, because ministry deals with church, deals with ministry. Okay, otherwise, if you only do theology, and for those who have done theology, there is no harm to pass through CFCI, do a degree like I did in ministry as well, so that you are balanced. You understand theology, you understand ministry. Otherwise, without ministry, you'll be a textbook pastor. Yeah, so when you are a textbook pastor, you are a theory pastor. There is no practical, in this thing. So ministry will give you the practical side of whatever you are involved in. So I highly recommend it for pastors. And like I said, please, I repeat, there was no need for me. I had already a degree in theology. There was no need for me to go and do a degree in ministry. But it's because it's very, very important. If you don't do this, you can't even manage ushers in church. And interestingly speaking, I can tell you, when you do this thing, you are taught from how to set up ushers, how to choose the ushers, where deacons must sit. The whole thing about church, you will be fully prepared. So I highly recommend it. But what I liked about that is that what you are required to pay per month is very affordable. So you are not stressed in terms of looking for resources and the like. Other institutions, they will give you something like, okay, maybe your degree is at 12 or 15,000, and they will tell you pay 50%. Yeah. And after the 50%, then the rest, pay, and make sure it's completed before you end or whatever. So, to find 50% of 15,000 is a lot of money. That's 7,000. But I like the way CFCI has structured their fees, because you're only required to pay a certain fraction, and the rest, is broken down to those meager kwachas per month. And again, even when you pay that 700 per month, would work out like 246. Yeah, like somebody can save 200 per week, 200 something per week. And at the end of the month, you've got your 700. It includes your book. Yeah, whereas elsewhere, that is the money which you will spend on buying the textbook, which has been recommended to you. And a number of institutions I've been to, there is a big struggle with books. Yes, even when they recommend it to you, which books? Those are books you can't even find locally. So at the CFCI, your burden is made easier because you don't have to look for those materials. They will be given to you. So yeah, so the fees are very affordable, very, very manageable. Please keep watching the screen and collect the details and contact the institution and get to learn. Those of you that are on the Copperbelt, please don't relent. CFCI is coming to the Copperbelt anytime soon. So Mount Moriah is running this branch of CFCI. They already have a branch in Lusaka and they are now setting up one on the Copperbelt in Ndola. So keep your ears open. And those of you that are able to reach us, if later you want to and you don't know how to, please, you can contact us. We will help you. We will connect you so you can be able to do your studies either in Ndola or on the Copperbelt. And it's very, very important that you get to study with CFCI. It will help you.
Pastor Emmanuel and the leadership of Mount Moriah Christian Fellowship are excited to announce their partnership with the international award-winning CFCI Bible College. You are welcome to begin pre-registering by going to cfcibc.com or speaking to your faculty.